Hello, welcome back to Splashy Fish. Today we are talking about a topic that everyone always asking us in the retail store and online: how to set up an aquarium for beginners. And all through this process, we will talk about how to start a nurturing cycle, how to look at what fish will fit certain tanks, and then any other tips I will have for you guys will be in this video. So stay tuned, and I hope you will see the entire video. All right, so let's talk some basics about starting an aquarium. Um, in an aquarium, first of all, you don't want to buy the tanks before you decide on what fish you want to keep. The reason why is, let's say you want to do some goldfish, and then you go and buy the tanks already, but the goldfish is supposed to be 75-gallon tank or bigger. Goldfish can get around 1 feet long, so having a 10-gallon tank in there, they can only be in there for maximum 3 weeks to a month. So you end up getting a lot of problems later on in along the road. So proper research on what fish you want to keep in the tank is really important. Um, and then what style that you want to keep also very, very important. Okay, so let's talk about some fish as well, and we move forward. All right, so usually how I recommend customer to set up a fish tank, I usually do it's called top-down approach, meaning look at from the top of the tank going down. Okay, so first of all, we need a light, right? Depending on what you would like to do for the tank, right? If you don't want to do fake plants, you can get any light you want to be. It's easy, simple. You don't have to go with this. You can skip to the next one. But if you are planning to keep lime plants, right, like this tank or any other tank we have, you want to get a good light. The light could be, the main reason why and how making your plants grow better or not. Basic on light, you need to get a strong light that can control power level and have, the light can reach from the top to the bottom of the tank. Keep in mind, the deeper the tank is, the harder the plants, the light can go through and travel down. So then some of the, let's say even this tank, if they are um, only 5 inches more in terms of height, the Monte Carlo won't grow that well, right? So those are really important. So a lot of the time, professional and how we use it at our store, we would put in, we would use, it's called the par meter to test the light at different level of depth of the tank, to making sure that the light can, the plants that we put into the tank can grow a certain way based on the light we put into the tank. Okay, you don't have to go in depth of that, but just keep in mind, if you're going to get some nice plants, you want to grow nice plants, then get good light. Some recommendations of light, which I don't get endorsed by or anything, but for example, Chinchero, Twin Star, Quick Aqua, and then those are like the good common brand. A lot of professionals use them for. You know, Depending on how depth of your tank as well, you can also that can be matter. I also use AI light. Those are the freshwater AI lights. They are good. Water Wi-Fi control and everything. It's good for the aquarium, but they don't have a good red coloration. So if you want to grow a tank that have red color like this won't be good for you. All right, next filter. Well, aquarium tank. So next will be aquarium tank, right? So most basic one, and I talked about previously already. Make sure choosing the tank size that fitting your fish need, so then you don't have to upgrade the tanks anymore. Once you set it up, then there it should be good to go. You can always change the scape, but the fish can always stay in there, right? Tank size does really matter. Okay, um, you know, overall, I always recommend customers to go with a 20-gallon tank, like this size. The reason why this size is the perfect size is because if you hate the scape that you did, it doesn't cost you that much to change the scape. So this is a UNS 60U aquarium, right? And the smaller one, like, is okay as well, but this is easy to control. The water volume in the tank is good enough, big enough. The scape that you can buy, will be also good as well. Like, for example, you can buy like a medium driftwood like this. they already look good enough for you to put in the tank. But in the tank, you cannot only put one, right? You put multiple one, but like medium size, some small, some extra small, and probably one large piece put in here. They will look good. Like for example, that tank, we have around, I think 5 to 6 pieces of driftwood that we combine together and glue them together, and to make the scape look this beautiful. Okay. All right. Talking about filter, because this is one of the next one is really important for to support the life of the fish. Right. There's thousand different brand of filter in the market. At our store, we carry Awase. We believe in Awase because they over design everything and then make it simplified to maintain and keep the fish alive and keep the filter running. So talking about a little bit about filter, right? You have hang on the back, right here filter. You have internal filter like these smaller one, compact one, to these bigger one. Also, still in tank filter. And then from there you go into spawn filter. That's another in-tank filter as well. We and especially me, I don't use spawn filter for the scape tank because you see the sponge, you see everything. The air bubble might look bad and look ugly in the tank, so I don't use it. Um, I am an advocate for canister filter. The reason why is canister filter is amazing because the amount of um, stuff you can put inside and adjustable and customize the filtration system is what you can do, right? So um, like even with this small one, it's say it's rated for what does it say? 100 liters, right? That's roughly 30-gallon tank. Um, I always recommend customers to over filtration the tank um, than under filtration the tank. So if the package say 100 liter, right, I would divide it by 4 or 3. So that would be it's be a 20-liter tank. So that would be like 10-gallon tank, 20-gallon tank, around that. And this is amazing to start off if you have low budget and you don't want to deal with any other thing, right? So get this because there's two versions of the Awase, okay, filter. They have a thermal or non-thermal. The thermal have the built-in heater, so your tank look neater, nicer. The water will flow through the heater, so the entire tank get a balanced heat throughout the tank. If you have a separate heater, like you can buy these separate heater, right? But these separate heater, what they will do eventually and later on is you will have one cold side and one hot side. Um, which sometimes would be great if you have like corridors on the bottom where they like cold, and then you have some other fish on the top that they like hotter water, and that's just when you can control the heater. But we can talk about that later on. Um, so with filter, right? Always buying a filter bigger than the tank size. That's really important. Um, I if I saw a 20-gallon tank, for example, I would go with a biomass thermal 250 because it has so much compartment in the back that you can really play around with it. So let me try and switch around and show you. All right, so you can see. Good thing about the Awase too is they have a pre-filter compartment, right? So you can just turn off the switch and then turn off the water flow, take this out, and then maintain them weekly. That's be your weekly maintenance, including with water change, right? Heater also built into the tank, so you can either turn off the heater completely or take them remove out completely, or you can keep them inside and run the heater. Okay, so the water will flow from the tank into the pre-filter first, and then they will come out to the sponge over here. I would clean the pre-filter if your tank is newly set up and you have a lot of biofilm, a lot of dirty thing in the tank and overstock the tank. These have to clean them every 3 days or 4 days. But if you only keep understock in the tank, meaning you're putting less fish in the tank and then the tank doing well, you want to clean that along the way with your water change. These are the rest of the filtration system inside the filter, which you don't want to touch them all the time. I would probably clean them every 6 months to a year, depending on how dirty the tank is and how often I do the water change. Okay. What I really like about this is simplify the process of water change system. and maintain the tank because you everything run through a pre-filter already. So it's almost like I call them a divers for the tanks. So dirty water go through it already, trap over dirty water, and then move to the rest of the tank where these are the biological media that kind of hold them everything already in there, right? Okay, so let's go. So filter, always buy bigger size. It's better to buy good equipment, so it lasts you for longer, and you can always upgrade the tanks up if you ever hate the current tank size, and you can still use the filter that you have currently. Okay. Next will be heater. So we did talk about the heater already, but most of the time it's depending on what tank size you have, what fish you have as well. Do they need a really cold or really hot water? Then you want to put a heater in there. I wouldn't put shrimp with a heater because shrimp like, U.S. house room temperature, right? So they can be from 65 to 75 degree. That's your house temperature. So you don't need to have heater inside the tank. But let's say if you have Carl Tetra, Ramino Tetra, and all the tropical fish, right? You definitely want a heater. There's multiple heater in the size you want to do, from 50 watts to 100 watts to 250 watts, and different brand, right? Generally speaking, you want to get a better heater because the better heater have a better contact in the heater. So, you know, talk about a little bit about physics and how these heater design is when the heater detect that the temperature is lower, they will close the contact down, so then it will create the current go through, so then it will heat up the tank. Right? Once it's cold enough, hot enough, it will the contact will open up, so stop it from the current to flow through. But if you buy a cheap heater, right, the contact will be cheaper, so that it won't last long, and sometimes it will close all the way and then make the tank burn more through stuff, right? So when I'm saying burn through more stuff is when the heater contact close, and then it will allow current to flow through and boil an entire tank, which happened to be before, and I hate that. Um, I have seen that over time, like the industry has moved to a titanium heater, which is amazing, but it's a bit costly for a beginner. So I don't recommend that when you first started. But a couple of brands I have tested so far, and I love them a lot, would be Jacker, Eham, German make heater. They last for forever. Heater, Heat Up from Awase again, also a very good brand to have in the tank. So those two, I will be swear by it and use it all the time. And generally speaking, whatever we keep in the store for sale is what we live in. We test out the product, we like it, and then we only carry good stuff for customer. Yeah, so get a good heater for yourself. And then let's go with soil, substrate, and everything, right? So we go from the top down already. So lights, go through filter, you go to aquarium. Now with the soil, depending on what scape you want to go for, right? Think about that first as well. Then you want to figure out what soil you want to go with, right? Aqua soil, if you want to grow good plants and the plants stay healthy, stay green and looking good, aqua soil would be the best option for you to go for. There's a couple of brands on the aqua soil market that really good, from the top down, right? So you have ADA is one of the best one that is really good. 2 Hours Aquarium is about to come out with a new soil, and from what I'm understanding and from what I heard from the rumors is those soil from 2 Hours Aquarium. This I think is called the brand. I think it's called. Yeah, I forgot the name what they call. But the 2 Hour Aquarium will come out with a new soil. That soil will be the high quality of soil, like how the ADA back then would be. Okay, so it's ADA, and then 2 Hour Aquarium will be the best two highest quality product. Then you would go to like Awase, Conda soil. This would be the next level down. Those would be I would be recommend to use for beginner, including with 2 Hour Aquarium as well, because I believe they are the same at the same price range, right? And then after that, you also have Tropica. We don't carry Tropica anymore because you know, it's too expensive for us to carry in the store, and no one really cares for the brand. Um, but you know, it might change in the future. But you know, we have Oase, Carnage Soil that's from UNS, and we have Tropica, and then 2 Hour Aquarius. Right? Those two, three, four brand is amazing. I don't carry an ADA here at the store. Um, and then the last one I would not recommend, but also can doable if you have low budget, is fluorostratum. So fluorostratum have two sides. They have a normal fluorostratum and they have a fluorostratum bio. So far, I have not tested the fluorostratum bio yet. I'm not sure what they will be looking different and the material different. But I am waiting for my account to be set up so I can get the fluorostratum bio to then test it out. All right, for the substrate and soil, right? We talk about the aqua soil. So aqua soil is the most critical thing that we need for your aquarium. But if you need anything else that is not, um, if you want to set up a tank with only fake plants, then you can use gravel. Any type of gravel is fine. Be careful with what you buy at any other store because let's say there's certain gravel on the market that can give you just GH, KH, and pH. So like for example, crust coral, right? Usually it will be a white pebble that might look cool in your tank, but they're actually not. They will give you problems in the tank. So make sure to do proper research and then see what other substrate you use. Overall sand, you can use any type of sand that are available on the aquarium shop and use them to your liking. It's really it make the aesthetic of the tank look a lot better. But if you on one certain if you like to use only certain type of sand, that's fine. One type of sand is fine. Um, I usually mix up the sand together. So let me show you what they look like. So at the store we carry UNS sand, right, and then also other brand of sand as well. But you can see that the sand pebble is different. Sand pebble is different and a different coloration. It can be true in certain area will have underneath, under the river, they will have these look um, pebble and sand. However, in the tank, it might look boring to you. So what I did was I usually mix the sand together. So like this is like literally what you will see me using most of my scape in the tank. I mix a big bucket of it, and I've been using it from here since then. So like for example, you can see this tank right here. We have it. You see how nice it look now with the soil. I mean, sorry, with the sand mixed together. You have different coloration of them. Look nice. Ignore this corner, okay? Because that have aqua soil that got went down from the back. But you can see the different coloration. Have pink, something pink in there, some yellow in there, and big and small gravel, right? So that's what you like to do. You want to mix up a lot of soil. I mean, sorry, sand in here. Um, this I think I used UNS sand mixed together, the couple of different UNS sand, and then also carrot seed, right? There was a pink one, there was yellow one, and you can see like the gravel and the texture of the sand now looks so much better and it look more real. Um, and keep in mind if you have sand on the bottom of your tanks, please do not buy only super white sand. Okay, over time that sand will give you grow algae for you, and it will be hard to clean them out. So having a sand that look natural like this will prevent algae from growing, and if even the algae will grow, you won't even see that, and not just that. Okay, um, like you can see like the look of the branch, right? Um, and you can always mix the sand like you can buy a smaller package of them and mix the sand um, and in terms of our design, for example, you can see this design we're trying to do like a pathway, right? You will have to do a lot of soil, aqua soil onto this tank to make it look nice and have like a hue going up. But something like this, if you don't have the budget for a lot of aqua soil, then what you can do is I usually say it's called filler substrate. So I would recommend using like eco planted, for example. So eco plants, for example, these are good for like a fuelers. You can use it to fuel to create a good angle, and then you can use aqua soil on top to put it on top. Okay, so you won't even see these, but the soil will help you. Yeah. All right. Well, if you're doing aqua soil, you need to start. It's called. You need to run the tank through. It's called a dark start. Okay. The reason why you have to do a dark start is because these soil have so much nutrition in them that will give you that will release out a lot of nutrition in the tank. Um, and those nutrition, if you put plants in the right way or anything else like that, that will run through an algae ugly phase, right? I wouldn't do that myself. So I would set up a tank, put soil in, put water in, fill it up, and run through a nitrogen cycle, which we will talk about that later on in this video. But I would run through that at the same time. And then after 3 or 4 weeks, I would drain the water down, plants, escape the tank, and we should be good to go. But if you don't want to do that and you being impatient, then you can put the soil in, put the plants in, but you have to do regularly water change, okay, throughout the process of the dark cycle. Instead of doing dark cycle, then you also just you have to run through a nitrogen cycle. Okay, um, all the soil will release out some ammonia in the tank, which will help with the nitrogen cycle already. But you can also still want to get some more um, to help with the nitrogen cycle. Okay, aquarium cell. Aquarium cell is necessary in the tank, but depending on what fish you want to keep in the tank, then you might not need it. All right. What I'm doing right now, I'm just going through down this list. This list is what we give to customer at the store. If you need to take a snapshot of it, you are more than welcome to do it. Um, it's just like aquarium cell, right? For example, you don't need it in the tank, but if you're only keeping fish in the tank, then you probably want to put some because that will help to thicken the slime coat of the fish, so the fish less likely to get disease easier in the tank over time, and also keep the fish healthier. So why not? Fish net. Fish net is really important for the aquarium, for the tank. And, fish net is really important for the store. Yeah. Fish net is really important for the aquarium and for your fish hobby. The reason why is they have different size in the net, right? Depending on what type of fish you're getting. And if you're getting nano fish, the mesh and how fine the net is really important. If you're getting big fish, fine mesh will be fine. Small fish, if you're putting small fish into not like bigger size of the mesh, then the fin might get trapped inside there, which can tear up the fin and stuff like that. So in our store at Splashy Fish, we only use fine mesh for all of our fish. So then their fin don't get trapped, their fin don't get caught in the nets, and they won't die or the fin get damaged. You can see like how fine they are, right? It's really small, so um, barely it will cut on to the fish. Um, so the size of the fish that you keep in the tank will matter if what type of nets you use. Okay. Um, all right. Let's talk about the whole chemical thing. This is what we usually do at a store, right? So we kind of like walk down the aisle with everything we needed to do. Which help the customer a lot, but I already pull out something we will need. If you're only keeping fish that is standard and you don't need anything else, there's only fish, right? So what you will need first of all is water conditioner. There's multiple brand on the market, and they sell so many of them on the market. I don't care what you want, what you will get. If you live by Petco and PetSmart, you probably will find their own brand and still say the same thing. Um, but we carry Prime, Seachem Prime. Is water conditioner for the tank. Um, Also with Fritz Complete, it's the same chemical, just different brand. And then Fritz ACCR. The difference between all of these are not much different. They still remove ammonia and actually, they all still remove chlorine and chloramine. That's just from your tap water that will kill fish right away. Okay, so make sure you use that. The only difference between all these are one would remove ammonia and the complete one. Okay, so most of the time, what I usually do is I would, if let's say you have a tank that's one fish just died, I probably will put more of either all any of these guys in because that will remove and remove toxins of the ammonia in the tank. And on the package, it will say that for you. So like like how many you want to put for dechlorinated water, how many you want to put to remove detoxify ammonia. So most of the time it's double or more than that. Okay, so these three products is what we would use and recommend customers to buy and use them. Next thing for cycling, right? Nitrogen cycle. So let's talk about a little bit about that too. You will need some of the chemical to do that, right? So first of all, there is fish in cycle and then there's fishless cycle. I don't believe in fish in cycle because there's so much variance that can happen in the tank. Because when you have a fish in the tank, when you do a nitrogen cycle, you will run through, feeding amount for the fish that are in there will be a problem. If you feed them too much, there's too much ammonia, that fish will die, and then your cycle will take longer to do it. So most of the time, what I recommend and usually do is called fishless cycle. So what you have to do with that is either get fishless fuel, this one right here. Uh, you can go to our website and buy it, or you can go to your local fish store and buy it. Okay. What it does is it's a liquid ammonia that when you put into the tank, that would help you to control um, the amount of ammonia you put in the tank. So it's measurable and it's accuracy. So then you can jumpstart the tank better. Okay. With only this, you cannot start the tank. Okay. You also need the bacteria. So there's a couple of things that you can find on the market for the bacteria. You have, and these two are the shelf-stable one. Okay. You don't have to buy this big bottle. This is the last bottle we have in the store. So that's why I'm getting this big bottle out for you to show you. But the brand will be Fritz Zam 7. It's live nitrogen bacteria. This will activate as soon as you put it into water, and then there's a direction in the back to show you how to do it too. But generally speaking, it's 4 ounce for new tanks per. It's 4 ounce for new tanks per 10 gallon, and then you just have to add it in. These two products are the same bacteria, same everything. The only downside of this is usually take you, and it will take longer to cycle the tank. So what I usually don't recommend customers to do are these, but these are great for like maintaining the system. So let's say you clean out the filter every 6 to 10 to a year. Every time you maintain the filter and deep clean the filter, you want to put these guys in to kind of maintain the tank. But for starting the tank, I like to use live nitrifying bacteria. So something like this. Okay. It's called Fitzham's Turbo Start 700. Okay, this vial is good for a 50 gallon. 50 gallon. Okay, depending on how fast you want to start a tank, then you can either do it fast or slower. So you can put more or less depending on that. But generally speaking, if you add in I actually recommend the amount is to take you a week to 2 weeks to cycle. Okay. But yeah, let's go back to what we were talking about. Nitrogen cycle, all right? So you need ammonia and bacteria. So either using the shelf-stable one that we have in here or the bacteria that are in the fridge. Your local fish store should have them too. So if you are in the area or if you're not in our area or you are somewhere else in the other country, you can use that too. Also, I want to mention one more thing that it's really important, and I found now that there's a lot of blogs on other websites mention about it, and also on other videos from our YouTube mention about one thing that I don't believe that is correct and it needs to be fixed is when you do cycling, please do not come to any other fish store, especially your local fish store, to asking for this used spawn filter or any type of used filter media. The reason why mainly is because think about this, okay? Fish store is when we get all the fish in, right? There will be a tons of disease that happening in the fish store. Things like Pesco and PestSmart, right? Even us as well. We should get fish that coming with disease, and if you're getting those media, filter media that already have those disease in there, your tanks will never be balanced and stable, okay? And your fish will keep dying. Fish will keep dying slowly or dying one by one, and you don't know what happened and don't know the reason why. So it's really critical that you cannot do that, okay? And please make sure to buy either shelf stable live nitrifying material or live like an actual refrigerated live nitrifying material. Okay, there's a couple brand on market as I was mentioned already, but I also want to mention like Dr. Tim, for example. They have some couple good products there. Um, you know, Fritz have some couple good product there. Flu will have a couple of the product is good as well. And then Seacam, right? All those products I would be always recommend customer to do. I would never recommend customer to buy or get to use filter media from a store. However, though, if you have a friend that have a tank that's been stable for a while, there's no dead fish or there's no problem with their tank, you can always ask for some of the filter media to kind of jumpstart the tank, but also you don't know what their water have and what problem they have in the tank. So if you transfer that over, you might getting some of the bad beneficial bacteria that might already have in the tank already. So please be careful about it and be mindful about it, so you don't have to run through problems that you can prevent it in the future. Okay. Next thing is measuring how much you need to do for ammonia, so and then controlling the nitrogen cycle. So you will need freshwater master test kit. Okay, this is very important because you want to control and measure your ammonia, nitrate, and nitrite. Okay, these three are the most important one when you first start a fish tank. A lot of people and a lot of my customers as well come into the store and like, oh, my pH is wrong. My pH is at 8 point something or 7.6 and my fish need to be at 6.0. Okay, please make sure also select the fish that can be in the same pH area and range, so you don't have to worry about that. But also have to check on different source, because sometimes one website will show 6.0 to 8.0, like how our website would be, right? But then the other website is saying an exact number. So those exact number is usually for breeding behavior or like breeding trigger to make them trigger to breed, right? You don't have to be exact at that number. If you see a range from 6.0 to 8.0, as long as the fish is in those area and within that parameter, they should be healthy and happy. Okay, fish don't die because of pH. So far that I know of. But if you have any other video to prove wise, please let me know. But I generally don't care for the pH, especially for fish, especially tropical fish. But for like cichlids and peacock and other cichlids, yes, I will be worried about the pH a little bit for the coloration and everything else. Shrimp, same way. So shrimp, I would prefer the pH to be lower. So then the color on the shrimp get a bit better. The shell on the shrimp also get better as well. But generally speaking, to cycle the tank, ammonia, nitrate, nitrite is what you want to look for. Okay, let me show you the graph of what they look like and what you need to know. Okay, so this is a graph that we do. Ammonia, nitrate to nitrite. Okay, so NH3, NH4 to NO2 and then to NO3. And these are the guys that we usually give to customer when they come to the store. But okay, let's go through it. Ammonia source. So where's your ammonia source? This is right here, your ammonia source. Okay. After that, when you put it in, put that bottle in, and actually, let me go back. Not the whole bottle. Okay. There's an instruction on here in the back of it. It will say, I think it's 4 drop. Yeah, 4 drop per 1 gallon. Okay. So make sure you don't put over that amount. So you would put that in, you put in the bacteria, and what bacteria would do is they would convert ammonia to nitrate and to nitrite. Okay, It will take some time, so please be patient. The best way how I would usually talk to customer and recommend customer to do is test your water before you put the ammonia, okay? So you have like control number one. And then after that, you would, after you add in the ammonia, you will test the ammonia to figure out what your current ammonia is, okay? After that, then put in the bacteria, and then test the water again 6 hours after that to then record your ammonia level, nitrate, and nitrite, okay? After 6 hours, you just have to do it daily, okay? So you would test ammonia, nitrate, nitrite daily for the next 7 to 14 days. Then you can see the number start dropping down. And it's amazing. It's the chemistry, but you would learn a lot from it, and then you would understand why it's happening, so then it can prevent fish from dying. The reason why, and it's really important, why we need to do nitrogen cycle, is because without nitrogen cycle, right, fish will die, and that's probably a lot of customer and fish hobbyists, you know, hate keeping fish over time because of that. Let me go to this light area so we can see more. So nitrogen cycle is really important. The reason why is too high of the ammonia will burn fish gill, body, and fin. Uh, Burning the gill will cause them to cannot exchange oxygen anymore, and they will die over time. Um, Nitrate also the same thing, and nitrite. So then this cycle at the end is NO3. That will be very helpful because then at this stage, it does not kill fish anymore. Too high of NO3 can also benefit live plants because live plants live off NO3. Okay, at this stage, if you don't have live plants in there and you don't have fake plants, this will trigger algae to grow. Same thing with if you don't have enough live plants in there to absorb, then you also have algae start growing. But the good thing about it is um, that is when it's kicking when you have to do a water change. So we have water change right here, maintenance for water change, okay? Um, but water changes, you have to do it weekly for the aquarium. So it'll be 10-20% water change weekly to remove the excess nutrition in the tank. And and a lot of customers actually don't know about it. And so, I will link to the part two, where I can show you how to do the water change and cleaning out the tank with grab a vacuum. So we at the store we recommend customers to use for Python, right? It's very easy and convenient product to use, and most of the time you just need to hook it up to your sink, anything at home, and then you just drain the water from the tank, and then you fill up the tank with that water. So one more important note in terms of the water change is whenever you doing a water change and you add back the water from the tap water to the tank, a lot of customers forgot to do is adding in water conditioner, right? Always add water conditioner prior, before you put the tap water to the tank. Um, I have seen the customer also, put them into the bucket and then stir them up and then dump it in. That's totally fine. Keep in mind, however, keep in mind, okay, very important. You always want to put in the water conditioner to amount of chemical of the water conditioner to the tank size that you have. So let's say you have a 50-gallon tank. That's one cap of the chemical that you need to put it in right here. Say one cap full, 50 gallon. Okay, so make sure you put that in. If you have a 10-gallon tank, then put 1 milliliter of that in. Right, but I know you're only changing 10 to 20%, but that's really important and critical because sometimes the quality water might flush in with excess chlorine or may have chloramine, right? Having extra chemical in the tank won't harm the fish, but it might also help you to remove ammonia, okay? So that's why you only want to add these chemicals, the water conditioner, to the volume of the tanks, but not um, the amount of water you added to the tank. It's okay to do it without the when you first add it to the tank, you don't have any fish. That's fine to do it, but when you have fish in there already, You always want to add the volume, the chemical that you needed for the whole tank, not only the water added to the tank. Okay. All right. Let's go. What else we need? All right, freshwater master test kit. Okay, so that is like literally the end of the thing you need to start for the tank. But you can take a snapshot of what else you need for the tank right here, in terms of like other things. So you have algae scraper, gravel vacuum I talked to you about, thermometer, lid or no lid, it's up to you. Power strip with surge protector, that's really important. Timer, smart timer, chemical, we will talk about that. Fertilizer and supplements. Those will be a next video. Okay, so don't worry about that. So let's, just be a lookout for the next video about that. But thank you again for watching. And if you have any other question, let me know. But let me show you again the things we have out here. And that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. And I appreciate what you have done so far for us. And also, if you give a thumbs up on any question you have in below. And we are more than happy to answer your question. Okay. And if you are no local or you're traveling to Washington D.C. or Virginia area, please feel free to stop by our store, check us out. And you can see our address on the bottom as well. And that's the end. Thank you so much. Have a splashy day. Goodbye.